Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be doing a Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse review. This is the sequel to the hit animated movie released in 2018 called Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And also I'll be showing you my new review system. And even though it's on Notepad, I still think it's a step up and I'll try to upgrade it. And it's going to stick with me for a long time, so you gotta wait to the end of the video to see the new review system. But anyway, let's talk spoiler-free for this review. This will be a spoiler-free review. And honestly, this movie is a masterpiece. Okay, I said it. It's amazing. It's just perfection. So, let's just start off with Miles as a character. He's more likable than ever. Like, I rooted for him. Like, anyone that stood in his way, I wanted them to, like I hated them. Like, they make Miles such a, endearing character. I don't know if I said that. It's kind of weird. But, they make him so rootable and likable. He feels normal in a place where kind of nobody's normal. Gwen Stacy was used to the fullest. I think it's kind of her story. Like, Miles is obviously in the spotlight, but she's kind of also in the spotlight. She's getting a lot more screen time, and it's pretty enjoyable, but she did have an extremely long opening scene. Extremely long. That's not a spoiler. Everyone's been talking about it. And it's not a spoiler to say this is a part 1. Yep. Part 1, oh my god, the ending. I can't wait to talk spoilers because I'm going to break this down. But honestly, it's so good. Well, for a cliffhanger ending. Spider-Man India is by far my favorite Spider-Man in this movie. He's so happy. And you never really see a Spider-Man who is happy. Like Tom, he loses people. He's always sad, always trying to just hang out with his friends. He's just dealing with so much. Miles, he's kind of focused on being that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but he doesn't seem happy. And Gwen is Gwen. She's kind of dark. Peter B. Parker in the first movie, he's kind of like that old kind of guy who's just trying to live his glory days once more. And then, Spider-Man India comes in and he's so happy. I think he's so cool to play in that retrospective. And, it feels like it's Spider-Man India. Sometimes when I see Spider-Man, I don't think, really, that's a Spider-Man. I'll get onto that later because there's a Spider-Man in this movie that kind of feels like that. And, I just can't wait to see him in the next movie. He is so enjoyable. And then Spider-Man 2099, that's the character I was talking about who doesn't feel like Spider-Man. He's a great character, but he's not a good Spider-Man in my opinion. I don't like how he was kind of the villain. That's not a spoiler. If you've seen the trailers, you know what I'm talking about. He's kind of like the antagonist. Well, one of the antagonists. We'll get into the best antagonist also. And he kind of is he doesn't feel like Spider-Man. He feels like someone who got the powers of Spider-Man, but doesn't, kind of does bad stuff with that. I don't know. Is he really a Spider-Man or is he someone else? Let's see in the third movie. Okay, part 2. Jessica Drew. Kind of boring, to be honest. Nothing really to say about her. She only got 5 minutes of screen time. And honestly, I did not really care about her at all. I didn't really care. I think the other variants are cool. Spider-Punk. I thought he was pretty cool. He kind of is like that guy who offends people without trying to offend people. That super cool guy that makes the kind of main character jealous when he's really not doing anything wrong. He's kind of like that. I think that was really cool. Spider-Bite, she's okay. She only got 1 minute of screen time in total, but her minute of screen time, she was pretty well written, unlike Spider-Man 2099. He's good, but he's not really Spider-Man. And then we got the Spot. Trust me, I will be breaking him down so much in my spoiler review. He is amazing in this movie. Like, his ties with Miles, because that was also confirmed. They kind of like told us a lot of stuff before this movie released. But anyway, like, it's so cool. And rewatch the first movie. Trust me. And this movie it's amazing. Like, okay, sorry, I just went off on a tangent. The Spot is by far, like, as good as the top 3 MCU villains. He's as good as the High Evolutionary. He's as good as Green Goblin. He's as good as Namor. He's kind of like, he's nearly better than all of them, except Namor, the God, and High Evolutionary, and Green Goblin. He's better than all the other MCU villains, though. He's so good. And he's kind of like that villain of the week. You'll get it when you see the movie. He's kind of a villain of the week. You think he's a villain of the week. Like, when I heard he was the main villain, I was like, he's just going to be, like, working for, like, a bad guy, like Spider-Man 2099 or something. Even though he's not a bad guy. Like, he's going to work for a different big bad, right? And then when we got told he's the big bad of the next 2, everyone was like, that joke is going to be the big bad? He's a villain of the week kind of thing. But trust me, they play into that, and he is so cool. The actor, I think it's Jason Schwartzman, I don't know. They did an amazing job. Can't wait to see him in the next movie. And let me just tell you something. They spend a lot of time before they go into the Spider Society in different realms. Trust me. It's actually pretty good. Even though you want to see the Spider-Man, like, society, trust me, you want to spend a bit more time in Miles Universe for this movie, because it's that important. And another thing I want to talk about in this is I don't know how to say it, the way it kind of cuts off, because I said it's a cliffhanger in it, but, like, it kind of cuts off, like, just not end. It kind of just ends, and it could have gone for another 5 hours. I don't care. It could have gone for another 5 hours, but that's why I think Beyond the Spider-Verse really needs to nail the landing. Does that make sense? Because if it doesn't, it's gonna damage this film, and I really don't want that, because it's really good. And it's kind of confusing at the end. I can't really say. But another thing I want to say: watch the Spider-Man Homecoming. Just trust me. You just rewatch it. Trust me. You just rewatch it. Okay? Go click off this video. Rewatch Spider-Man Homecoming. Go see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Rewatch this video. Watch my spoiler review, and you'll finally understand what I'm talking about, okay? Yeah, I think it's time we get into our review system, and yeah, Future Jake, you take over. Okay, we got the review system, and I know it's on Notepad, but I'll try to advance it. But this is pretty cool. So let me break it down for you. So let's just say the story is 0 out of 10. So we go from out of 10s, and the overall will be a 100 out of, well, yeah, no, it's out of 100, sorry, I said that wrong. And then, depending on the score, it will land in one of these categories. We got do not watch, which means it is terrible. Do not watch, it's kind of obvious. We got 11 to 35, avoid at all costs. I should have had that, but eh. And then we got 36 to 45, not recommended, but you can check it out. And then 46 to 60, middle of the road, kind of average, it's your choice. Then 61 to 75, ticked off the right boxes, which means it's good. 76 to 95, which means, wow, it's a fun one, which means it's pretty fun, you should watch it. And 96 to 100 means it is, like, in the list for the top 50 or something movies. That is really, really good, because it's going to be extremely rare. Even though Spider-Man No Way Home is obviously going to be in that, it has to be like a top 10, 20 movie to get in there. Like, even if it's like top animated, even if it's like the best animated movie, if there's 20 more, it's not going into the Hall of Fame. So Hall of Fame, pretty rare. Anyway, let's get on with the review. So story for Spider-Verse, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. It was extremely well written. I feel like it's going to be one of those stories like iconic in maybe 5 years. It's a really good story, good time spent, and yeah, I think the story is really well written, and it's kind of that story that you'd say, oh, it's that? It's kind of like a twist, but you'll get used to it, extremely used to it. You get really used to it. The characters, I'm going to give, this is hard, 9 out of 10. Everyone was amazing, though I do think Spider-Man 2099 isn't really a hero. And then I feel like there are some overrated characters. I'll get into that in my spoiler review. Comedy, I'm going to give another 9 out of 10. It's not perfection, like, oh my god, so good comedy, guys. Amazing comedy. It's kind of like more story and dark. It's kind of dark for an animated movie, but the jokes are kind of on the nose, but they're funny. I like them, and they're kind of kids' humor, so of course I'm gonna like that. Suspense, I'm giving a 10 out of 10 because I did not know I did not know who was dying, who was gonna live, what was gonna happen. I was off my seat. Literally, I was on the ground watching it. Well, not on the ground, but I was not on my seat. Action, that's another 10. The action in this movie is so good, even though the first half is kind of lacking. Well, other than the part in the first half, you understand if you see it, but it's kind of lacking. But like the action later on in the movie is so good, it will be amazing. Ending, even though it is a cliffhanger, I will give a 10 out of 10 for now, because of course, if Beyond Spider-Verse doesn't take the overall lining of these two movies, it could go down to like a 5. But I think it was a really, really good ending, and it was really well done. Concept, I'm going to give it 10. I was debating between a 9 or 10, but I'm going to give it a 10 because it's kind of that concept that I would kind of use. Like, I have superpowers, oh, there's other universe superpowers you want to go visit, and then there's a kind of like bad person there, and then everyone's kind of fighting to how to fight it. Like, it's something I would make up, and I kind of like that, so I'm going to give it a 10. Execution, that's a 10. No, do I even need to talk about it? That concept is better than I pictured in my mind. Horror, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. Because, like, you don't want horror. Well, I should actually give it an 8. Because this is an animated movie, I don't want horror. I'll give it an 8 because I don't really want horror, but it's kind of that horror that, like, it's kind of is a scary foe. Like, I wasn't scared or anything, but I was, like, it's dark. Oh, yeah, it's really dark. I'm debating between a 9 now. I'll go 9 because it's really well done, how they explain it. I don't know if this is making sense to you, but it's kind of like you don't want there to be horror, but you want there to be dark, and it's dark enough, and then there's a scary foe, like not super scary, but for an animated movie, it's a 9 out of 10. Oh, 10, because the way it is handled. Because I don't really like horror movies, and I just like the perfect amount. I think this had it. I went to because, like, animated movie, but the more I think about it, the more I like it. Storylines, this is a 10, guys. This is a straight up 10 for me because this storyline is magnificent. It's so good. I love storylines in the movie. Gwen has a good storyline. Spider-Man India has an amazing storyline. Spider-Punk had a really good one. Spider-Man 2099 had the best one. Miles had a really good one. Peter B. Parker kind of didn't have one, but his storyline with a baby, that's pretty cool. I kind of like that. So overall, let's count it. So 19. So we got 10, 9, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. How many 10s are there? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So there's 80 plus 18 is 98. So it's a 98 out of 100. So let's see where it lands. It lands in... Oh, I'm going to take one off. I'm going to give comedy an 8. I'm going to take comedy to an 8. And I'm going to take horror to a 9. So that's 2 minus, so that's 96 out of 100. So it still lands in the same category. It lands in the Hall of Fame. It is an amazing movie that you need to check out. Please watch this as soon as you can. It is a masterpiece in every way. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in cinemas now. Go check it out. I'm Jake. Peace.